Frankie is not dead. She is resting in the arms of Jesus. Heartbroken, weep no more. Grief-stricken, weep no more. Left lonesome, weep no more. She's only just gone home. Today we gather here in this holy place to celebrate the life of Frankie. In my many years of knowing her, I will always remember Frankie as determined, dedicated, and yes, opinionated. Her love for God and others was determined. She took her faith in God to the classroom, educating with a personal passion that the search of the thirsty learner would find satisfaction in their thirst and would open their minds and dedicate themselves to be educated learners. From the halls of Batting High School to the rooms of religious education, it was not merely a class on an essay or Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John, but a sharing of herself with all the respect and love she had for you as an individual. Frankie was determined, dedicated to her passions. She embraced each of life's tasks with a commitment to understanding knowledge. I remember when I told her that I was diagnosed with diabetes. She inundated me with emails and information on it, for her herself had just found out she was too. She walked with me and we shared our ups and downs together. I used to get so angry at times with Frankie because I always felt that she was giving up. And then today, as I was sitting thinking about it, I didn't realize that she wasn't giving up. She was just angry at herself that she didn't have more to give. That because of the illnesses and the troubles, it was taking away from her passion and her dedication to teach and to educate, to share and to love. Frankie was opinionated. She had a view for every topic. When Father King became pastor of Annunciation, Frankie was determined that he would not turn into one of those old crabby priests. So once a month we would get together and we would kidnap him. And we would go to different places, sometimes on a whim, sometimes planned out. It's ironic that we sit here today and Frankie is gone. I thought that we would all one day perish together driving while Frankie would say something outrageous, putting the church back at least 100 to 200 years. Frankie had two sayings that I always will remember. The first one was, for evil to prevail, all that has to happen is for good people to do nothing. In that, Frankie recognized the fact that she had an obligation to do. She gave herself to every moment. She leaves us today reaching on our tippy toes by her example of life and faith. I remember reading an interview in Ebony where the reporter was asking Dr. King why he got involved in the civil rights movement. And he said that he initially didn't want to, but he says, how can I be a person preaching about the liberation when I myself am not? In an interview, the reporter asked Mother Teresa, why do you want to work with the poor? And she responded, I wanted to see Jesus in his distressing disguises. We here now have an obligation in the life of Frankie to do what we can where we're at, regardless. In her sickness, she moved. In her sickness, she talked. In her sickness, she was there. In her sickness, she loved. In her good times, it was rejoicing. In her bad times, it still was rejoicing. The second thing I always remember about Frankie, and I had a hat made for her, whatever. Whatever. I'm sure when the family goes to the house, there'll be tons of things purple with whatever. Whatever now means to me through Frankie, whatever I can do with whatever I have. I don't know if I have the strength of Dr. King or In closing, I turn to the scriptures. In Revelation, it writes, I heard a voice from heaven say, write this, blessed are the dead who died in the Lord from now on. Yes, said the Spirit, let them find rest from their labors, for their works accompany them. Frankie now is sitting in the face of the Lord, rejoicing on her homecoming, rejoicing in the fact that all that she worked and she taught now has come to pass, there in front of her eyes, and giving the Lord a couple of pointers. Thank you.